Okay. Then let me introduce Professor Malaka Poshankardas. So she is, I think, one of the highly committed gerontologists, sociologists, and very much in both the research side and also in the practice side, addressing the various issues in policy making, and also, regularly organizing and also publications. I think Professor Mala Kapoor, more than I think 15 publicated volumes, Springer and other international publications, and she was very regular in international fora for addressing issues. I think we are very fortunate to have her presentation here. And Professor Mala Kapoor is going to talk on sustainable aging perspectives, combating ageism, abuse, and empowering strategies. She is also General Secretary, if I am correct, for the International Forum on Elder Abuse. And over the period, we are seeing regularly how the awareness on elder abuse, thanks to her efforts, and also with her creating a lot of platforms for highlighting this ageism and elder abuse, she has brought in. I think Professor Mala Kapoor, now you can make your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hear me?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Professor Shivaraju. Greetings to all. At the outset, I want to state that I'm happy to be part of this virtual conference for various reasons, but primarily that the theme is very close to my heart as it relates to years of my work as an academic person, researcher, consultant, author, and activist. Secondly, I always enjoy being with friends, thus glad to have Professor Shivaraju chairing this session and Professor T.V. Shaker as a co-panelist. Both I've known for long, and many a times we have worked closely on multiple issues. I thank Dr. Dhanajay, now a close associate, as we have worked together in few of my projects, for inviting me to be part of this important meeting, as well as connecting me with many stalwarts and few budding, very promising experts with whom it is always a pleasure to interact. I sincerely hope my talk today appeals to all those listening and something fruitful emerges out of it. Let me move ahead with the topic of my address, Sustainable Aging Perspectives, which I got involved from late 1990s onwards, when, as a UN consultant to review their MDGs, I critiqued in a couple of writings the limited focus on aging issues, which had started to gain importance due to changing demographics. UN member countries soon realized the need to go beyond MDGs, and thus it was superseded by the Sustainable Development Goals, which was to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. The emphasis on sustainability and leaving no one behind was crucial in all the 17 goals of the SDGs, which gained importance from 2015 onwards. Again, as a UN consultant, I had a chance to contribute towards critically reviewing SDGs in terms of how inclusive they are for older adults and how much do these contribute in improving quality of life of older people. And while many help in increasing life expectancy of populations, but do they lead to making living longer, living better? a question that started dominating a lot of my thinking. Prime for me is the thought, can we have sustainable aging and what does it involve? As I see it, sustainable aging is about creating environments and policies that support healthy, active, and fulfilling lives for older adults. It is pertinent that focus be on some key aspects. Keeping limitations of time in view, I briefly state 5 elements. I begin with talking about healthy aging as the first element. And I would like to say that for populations, it is pivotal to have opportunities that promotes their physical and mental health through preventive care, regular exercise, and mental stimulation. We do have the UN Decade of Healthy Aging now, which is from 2021 to 2030. And incidentally, both the development goals and this are trying to end their focus, or rather work by 2030, hoping that the countries will be able to sustain themselves by then. So, focusing on improving the lives of older people, their families and communities, the UN Decade of Healthy Aging is making good progress. Significantly, it brings attention to intersectionality between older persons, families, and communities, which is necessary. This refers to direct action, partnering with others, and participating in collaborations that work for strengthening healthy aging initiatives. To foster this, in my opinion, it is essential to improve the lives of older people, their families, and communities, for which our societies need fundamental shifts on how we think about age and aging. How do we tackle prevailing ageism across countries? As that is the root cause, in my opinion, of contributing towards increasing elder abuse, neglect, exploitation, and marginalization of older persons. Reports from many parts of the world are indicating elder abuse as a growing menace, and various surveys conducted at different levels point towards this emerging as an important concern that requires strong action to combat it. In India, too, where much is talked about strong family ties, tradition of respecting and valuing older people, research is showing at both micro and macro level as the huge problem that elder abuse is creating in our society and impacting the quality of life of increasing number of older adults. This is my specific field of specialization, as Professor Raju also pointed out. And I can go on and on talking about the need to stop elder abuse and how to go about it with developing empowering strategies, research tools to recognize and document its various dimensions, build management processes at the family, community level, and above all, strengthen voices of older persons to battle against this violation of their rights. I feel government has done a good thing by coming out with a significant legislation. The Maintenance and Welfare of Parents and Senior Citizens Act of 2007, which is at present being amended and waiting for approval by the Cabinet, though has been applied in many states of India. It is similar to many such legislative measures adopted in different countries across the different regions, including in the Asian context, where filial piety has strong hold on society yet is often broken down because of many changing socioeconomic processes set in by changing family structures, migration and urbanization patterns, technological developments, and if I may say, due to cultural values moving more towards individualism for whatever reason it might be. Drastic steps are required to bring attitudinal change, mindset, and above all, crucially, the environment in which we all exist. Speaking of this from a more sociological perspective, which is my specific domain, I bring your attention to the second element of the key aspects I referred to earlier. The second important aspect which can promote the first necessary element is to build age-friendly environments. What I mean by this is that there is an urgent need to develop communities that are accessible and inclusive, allowing older adults to live independently and participate fully in society. This is absolutely the need of the hour for aging countries. The consequence of elder abuse is that there is a strong violation of the rights of older persons. Their dependent status is a burden. Their participation in family decision making is resented. Their needs are under-recognized, just to name a few dimensions, given the paucity of time. Overcoming these must involve initiatives towards safe housing with adequate space for older persons, be it older men or older women. They must have accessible transportation facilities, and all stakeholders need to work towards strengthening community support that helps in removing vulnerabilities of older persons and enhances their quality of life. As WHO recommends, its member countries and many nations are developing their policies towards this end. It is absolutely essential to have age-friendly environments, since these are definitely better places in which older persons have facilities to grow, live, work, get involved with recreational activities, and consequently age in reduced abusive surroundings. An important question arises. How do we plan this? Go about it that older people, through these measures, can live a life of dignity and respect that contributes towards their well-being. We can create such enabling environments, and this is also a direction given by MIPA, that is the Madrid International Plan of Action on Aging, which is now under review in terms of its implementation. And I'm involved with this process too. So the recommendation is to address the social determinants of healthy aging that can enable all people, irrespective of their level of physical or mental capacity, to continue to do the things they value and live dignified lives. Here, the role of assistive technology is also gaining importance, and simple techniques, products, facilities that can enhance older people to live and feel better as they move on with the years. These are also, in my opinion, necessary tools to reduce the burden of care by family and community, which can facilitate breaking abusive circumstances. Thus, it takes me to move ahead with talking about the most crucial element, and as also stated in the title of my topic for address, that is sustainable aging perspectives for combating ageism, abuse, and empowering strategies. Yes, I'm now going to focus on the third aspect of sustainable aging, which is of combating ageism. Till we don't address stereotypes and discrimination based on age, we cannot ensure that older adults are respected and valued. Our societies are full of ageist views. It is constantly seen in how we think of age. Just look around you and you will see people, especially after a certain age, hesitant to say how old they are. Why? Because it is due to stereotyping age with old age symptoms of frailty, forgetting the fact that today we see 70 years old and 80 years old, even some 90-year-old, active with good cognitive abilities, capable of enjoying good life, provided families and communities let them do so. We need to stop how we think of age negatively as much as we need to stop our prejudices on age, how we feel about age. Our negative thoughts lead us to our behavior that promotes discrimination against age. We act more often than seldom towards people on the basis of their age. It does affect people of all ages, but has particularly negative effects on the health and well-being of older people. I had the fortune of meeting Robert Butler, the gerontologist, who coined the word ageism many years back at a professional meeting in Netherlands. And since then, we were good friends till his death, when I was asked by his family to write a tribute for him in India, which I could do and get it published in the Hindu, a national newspaper, popular at that time, although now it is under certain controversies. So we many a times talked about ageism and elder abuse and how different forms of abuse get determined with ageist attitudes, which needs to change as the court strategy to stop elder abuse is to take our thoughts to positive steps about how we think, feel, and act towards age and aging by generating evidence on ageism, building a global coalition to combat ageism, and developing tools and resources that can be used by others to take action. I'm glad to note that in the last couple of years, WHO has taken concrete steps to break barriers in combating ageism. And many countries, including India, are moving in the right direction by adopting a human rights perspective on stopping elder abuse, which in turn leads to sustainable aging. Another pertinent component of my talk is to discuss the fourth element of sustainable aging, which has many consequences on combating ageism and elder abuse, as well as creates empowering strategies. And this is focusing on the lifeline of older persons and contributing towards well-being of aging populations to live longer and live better. Clearly, these are aspects of integrated care, a requirement across generations, as it strongly emphasizes on a life course approach, which a lot of my work promotes, and I cannot miss not mentioning it. And I'm glad that Dr. Satya Narayan in the yesterday's session also emphasized how the life course approach is important in our perspectives on aging. So talking about integrated care, it is for providing coordinated health and social care services that meet the needs of older adults, ensuring they receive the right care at the right time without financial hardship. Now, a common form of elder abuse is related to neglect of health issues, including components of physical and mental aspects. So older people require a comprehensive set of services to prevent, slow, or reverse declines in their physical and mental capacities. These services need to be delivered to meet the person's needs, that is, make them more person-centered, They need to be coordinated between different health and social care providers. And we need to avoid causing the user financial hardship. Lessening the burden of care adds to measures for reducing elder abuse. Ample amount of research indicates that many older people at a certain age experience declines in their physical and mental capacity, which means that they can no longer care for themselves without support and assistance. Access to good quality long-term care is essential for these people to maintain their functional ability, enjoy basic human rights, and live with dignity, as it reduces the care burden increasingly being felt by families and communities, leading to many abusive circumstances and situations. It is a welcome development that countries, including India, are focusing on developing long-term care facilities and programs as part of universal health coverage. We are bringing emphasis on palliative care, we are bringing emphasis on respite care, and we are bringing emphasis on many other components which can facilitate a better health for older persons. But I won't hesitate to say that that we need to work on this rapidly and holistically from a life cycle approach by understanding what needs to be implemented as a package for long-term care. We need to put in more energy and thinking in understanding, designing, and implementing a person-centered, integrated model of care for people that works as they age. More research is needed to produce evidence that can guide in developing health and social care packages to improve quality of life of older persons, as well as keep in mind the health needs of caregivers from the family and the community. Thus, it is important that we don't lose track of the fifth key element, which I referred to earlier, and it provides groundwork for all our strategies related to empowerment, combating ageism and elder abuse, significantly leading to sustainable aging. Till we don't have adequate and appropriate policies that take care of needs of population of all ages, we cannot sustain quality of life, leaving no one behind. Therefore, as I come towards the end of my talk, I want to stress on the essentiality of having economic and social policies that cut across age, gender, and socioeconomic groups. Implementing policies that support financial security, employment opportunities, and social inclusion for citizens of a country is pivotal for them to live a dignified life as older adults. This will also help us in fulfilling the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development that sets out a universal plan of action to achieve sustainable development in a balanced manner and seeks to realize the human rights of all people. Till attempts are not made to reduce inequalities of all types and promote a dignified life for all, we cannot create a society where aging is seen as a positive and empowering experience. So sustainable aging has to be our goal, and we need to link various economic and social policies towards that. I will end now. Thank you for your patient hearing and hope to be part of discussion in the next course of few minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Mala Kapoor, for your excellent presentation on sustainable aging, highlighting various perspectives that comes out around that, and with a special focus on combating ageism, abuse, and empowering strategies. And you have started with your own association way back from 1990s. I still remember when UNFPA invited both of us. You are focused on qualitative aspects. I was highlighting the quantitative aspects of that time scenario of elderly poor in country, and your own expertise that with all these years of your consolidation of the activities, how the sustainable aging is very relevant and how that has to be viewed from attaining SDGs and bringing WHO's special focus on healthy aging. And your own, with your background of, creating such platforms for elder abuse and ageism, you have very much highlighted how best we have to bring an integrated model and even, viewing from a holistic perspective and taking the, family as a core, issue which surrounds this thing. And you have taken at a macro level also, bringing communities and the society at large. And you highlighted how the MIPA and other international efforts that are going on and how these type of efforts with a case study of India, how the government and human rights perspectives are adding to, highlighting those issues, and your optimism that the government and community-based organizations' effort are in right direction, though much more has to be, taken care of in future. But your optimism, we are sure, will bring fruitful solutions that can be a deterrent for ageism in the society, and also how elder abuse can be tackled because it is in the guise of the hidden one, which is very, very difficult unless we try to address it and combat that issue. This is very important. So I think you touched upon both policy point of view and also the programmatic response point of view. And I'm sure those aspects will be very good for our participants also to take it further when we are talking about.